Greetings, friends. We're going to take a quick look at the Pisces lunar eclipse. It's happening on the 17th of September, 2024. I'm recording this on the 16th, so for me, this is happening tomorrow. And I've been feeling it for a while. Pisces here. Many-headed Pisces here. Medusa-headed Pisces here. Bringing it to you live. Portals all the way down in this eclipse. So eclipses are always a portal, given that somehow, mysteriously, by some cosmic magic, the sun and the earth and the moon know how to line up with each other perfectly in distance and size and block out one another's light with alternating frequency. And cause great disturbance, changes here on Earth. And without change, there is no life. So we humans, we like comfort. We call these changes disturbances. We call eclipses bad omens. However, without them, we wouldn't be here. This wouldn't be what it is. So these eclipses keep churning the cauldron of existence. And we over and over and over, through our losses, gain new life during these times. So that's what it's all about. And so we always have an eclipse portal where the luminaries are located, but there are planets this time around that are creating multiple portals around the zodiac in the sky at the time of the eclipse. So I'm going to point them out briefly, but I want to spend more time in really keying in to how to ride this, how to be with this, how to be with yourself during this time. And so we have a Pisces lunar eclipse, 25 degrees Pisces, conjunct to 3 degrees Neptune. So that's a double Pisces flavor, Neptune ruling Pisces. And the sun is at 25 degrees Libra. The sun is also creating a grand Earth trine with the release point of a kite configuration being that moon Neptune focal point of the sun, of the sun-moon opposition, because it's the moon that is glowing. So when there's a sun-moon opposition, there's a full moon. That sun is as much at play as the moon, but the sun is really giving the moon its light. So the sun is giving the moon center stage. So we always call it a full moon. We don't call it a moon-sun opposition. Like the sun doesn't really get the attention in a full moon. The moon is getting the attention. So the moon is getting the attention. The moon is doubly getting the attention because there's what's called a kite being formed. I like to actually call it a diamond. Most of the time you're going to find it as a kite. I have one of these in my chart, and I really like to think of it as a diamond. And there's some metaphoric value to that as well. So imagine the shape of a diamond. Well, you're going to be seeing me drawing this because I'm going to splice in my drawing with this, which I'm already doing, so I can stop talking about it. So the bottom of the diamond is the sun and the south node. Opposite that is the moon and the north node and Neptune. And then sextile to the moon Neptune is Pluto. Sextile to the moon Neptune on the other side is Uranus. So they are creating a trine with themselves and then a grand trine down to the sun. So we have this kite. A grand trine in a chart is very contained energy. So if you have a grand trine in your natal chart, whatever element is at play, whatever planets are at play, whatever archetypes and personality and feeling those elements and signs and planets at play create in the life will be a self-contained energy. To simplify it, for instance, if you have a water trine 3 planets creating a grand trine in water, that person is generally going to be very self-contained in their emotions. They're not needy to a fault. They don't need your help. They don't need a shoulder to cry on. They got this. They can often even have trouble crying and really expressing emotion to others, where they may cry very freely on their own. So this is a grand earth trine, and elementally speaking, this is grounded energy. This is earth energy. This is manifestation. This is the material world. So there's a self-contained, grounded flavor, mountainous. Think about the shape of a mountain as a triangle. Mountainous, like the sturdiness, the reliability, the unchanging nature of the mountain. There's an element of that strength, that earth power in this eclipse, which is really nice because eclipses aren't known for their groundedness. However, when you have a diamond formation, there's a planet opposite one of the points on the triangle that's creating an opposition and then 2 sextiles. And that planet becomes a portal. That planet becomes a release point for the energy of the grand trine that would otherwise be self-contained. So when I look at this particular configuration, the energy that's coming through, to me, feels very volcanic, with an emotional flavor to it, because that focal point of the full moon, focal point of the eclipse, and focal point of the grand trine, diamond formation, is that moon, Neptune in Pisces. So this is a release point for emotion. This is going to express individually, in relationship, and in the collective, and in groups as well, collective, large and small. 2 points of the triangle are volcanic in nature in and of themselves. Pluto, the deep, raw, hidden powers, lava powers of Earth. And however, Pluto is ruling a water sign. So there's this water, fire, water, back and forth in this eclipse. And then, Uranus rules explosions. Uranus is lightning. Lightning is Uranian. So I just get this vision of the erupting volcano with the lightning coming off of the lava and going into the clouds. And the Uranus is the mysterious something that caused the time to be now for the volcano to erupt. So we have those multiple levels of portal. In addition to this, we have 2 planets squaring the nodes, and they are also opposite each other. So we have a grand cardinal square in the chart of this eclipse. The 2 planets squaring the nodes are Mars in Cancer. Bless our hearts. Mars is not comfortable in Cancer. Mars does not know how to express his emotions. Mars doesn't really want to deal with emotions. Mars wants to act. Mars is real happy with that explosion, which, this could end up, all of these energies, they do. That's what the energies do. On their own, they would wreak havoc. But together, life, every single time, every single moment of every single day, life is weaving these emotions together so flawlessly. So this Mars in emotional Cancer, who is uncomfortable, may actually find some relief and release at this eclipse, because Mars is ruling that north node that's up there with the moon and with Neptune, that is going to have release. And then additionally, when a planet squares the nodes, it in and of itself is a release point for the polarity, the tension of the opposites of wherever those nodal points are landing. So Mars is in and of himself a release point for the eclipse, for the north and south node, for the moon and the sun, and also that Neptune right there. Mars is a release point, so that's another portal in another part of the chart. And then opposite Mars, so Mars has his own tension happening with Ceres, the great mother. So these two they're matched. And Ceres in Capricorn is the other release point for the nodes, for this north and south node. So the Mars Ceres is square the nodes. The sun and the moon, however, are not exactly on the nodes. The sun and the moon are in Pisces and Virgo. The nodes are still in Aries and Libra. So this is another way in which this eclipse season is a blending between the Aries Libra axis and the Pisces Virgo axis. Because even though this is a Pisces Virgo eclipse, the nodes are still in Libra and Aries. And the nodes are what's being squared by these planets. But it's all close enough. You know, if we get real particular about exactness in astrology because our little mathematical brains just love it. Oh, God, those two planets are just exact. That means this. That means this. No, that's here. Look up in the sky and you see planets within 10 degrees of each other. They're next to each other. They're very close. You feel them in the same part of the sky. So really the north node is with the moon and with Neptune. And the south node is with the sun. And we know this to be true because of the observable phenomena of the eclipses themselves. They're not precise, they're not total, but they're very close. They are observable, and they are certainly observable in the outcomes in our lives. So, what to do with this? What to do with this? Should we do magic? Oh, it's so powerful. It's such a powerful time. Most people, not everybody, but most people do agree that eclipses are not a time to do magic. It's very unpredictable energy. And this eclipse, more than many, has so many multiple levels of portal happening. And so what are we to do? Nothing? Nothing at all? Perhaps, if nothing feels good. In the Western world, we're terrible at doing nothing. Nothing is actually extremely healthy. Traditional cultures, by and large, don't do anything during eclipses. They observe. They observe themselves. They pray. They wait. They sit in silence. They do nothing. They exist. They exist in the magic, in the portal. They allow. We allow. That's what we do. We wait. We listen. We surrender. We prepare, and then we surrender. So there's an exercise for this. I'm not going to keep my hands up here. I'm just starting by showing you my hands, my open hands. So my hands are in my lap, open. And if I think about, if I feel, if I allow to arise my desires, my thoughts, my ideas, my intentions, and then the really juicy ones that I really want, and then all of a sudden I'm squeezing, or my displeasures, my anger, my resentment, my fear, and then I'm squeezing again because I'm going in for a punch. And this is an exercise that I recommend. It's boring, but if you'll just do it, it becomes wonderful. Just sit with your hands open and allow the thoughts that come to also leave. Don't hold on to them, like a mindfulness meditation. And just gently focus your attention on your open hands and see if you can tune in to the feeling there, the feeling that's there. There's a feeling there. It may take several rounds of meditation to really tune into it, but there's a feeling there, and that feeling is chi. It's the free flow of your life force. And you just sit there and feel chi in your hands. Our hands do so much for us. Think about when you smash your finger in the door and how disabled you are without the full use of a single finger. Our hands do so much. And just allow that feeling. And once you're really good at feeling that feeling, and you know what it is, then bring your hands into fists and notice how after a minute that feeling will go away. The free flow of chi, your actual vitality, your actual life force cannot flow when you're grasping, when you're resisting, when you're demanding. It can only flow when you're allowing. So do your prayers, establish that guardianship, have your proper boundaries. This is all essential. This is basic, that this comes first. But then from that safe and still place, practice allowing the life force to flow as and where and how it desires to flow. Because it's going to, whether or not you allow it. What happens when we clamp down? Life still does what life wants to do, but if it has to break through, it might break our fingers. And that's no fun. You can do these exercises, or you can take it as a metaphor, and also both. But this is really the way to approach eclipses in general, and most especially this one. It's portals all the way down. Go with the flow, my friends. Blessings.